Okay, we're live, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. This is Hump Day Hangouts for June 14th, 2023. Adam, can you take over so I can
Yeah, definitely.
state the
You guys can.
URL?
Sure, here we go. So as Bradley said, this is episode 448, and we got both Bradley, Chris, and myself finally showing up here. So gonna say hi to Chris while Bradley takes care of things in the background before we jump into questions. So Chris, how you doing today?
Doing good, super busy, working on a lot of projects as usual. And yeah, like super excited about it. Lots of big things coming. And maybe a thing or two also for our customers and clients here. So stay tuned.
Nice. Sounds good. Well, yeah, I know Bradley's been busy in the mastermind. We're going to be, well, I'll ask him about that. We've got changes, updates we've got to come out with announcing for Local Fury, stuff that's in the works there. So looking forward to that, sharing that with people. And we're getting a mastermind webinar queued up talking about press releases. So we're talking to Jeremy over at Press Advantage about coming in, talking to the mastermind, kind of giving an update on what's going on with press releases. So mastermind members will get first crack at that in the Q&A. So looking forward for that. So that'll probably be later in June, maybe early July, but some good info there. So other than that, I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any cool announcements as far as what I've been up to. We've just been busy. So Bradley, how about you? How are things going with you?
Busy, man. Crazy busy, but good. Yeah, I'm excited about several things. As we just mentioned, Local Fury's got some really cool things that are, we've been nonstop working on that for months and months and months, and things are getting better over there. And so we're looking forward to that. More details will come soon about that. But Press Advantage stuff, that's also awesome because I was sharing some methods in the mastermind about how to use press releases to target very specific locations in a map for Google business profiles. And I've had a couple people reach out that said that they've implemented that method and seen movement in maps in a matter of days. So it's a really good method. It works great. So I'm interested in having Jeremy come back and talk about Press Advantage and some of the other stuff that has gone on there, and just kind of I think during that time I might reveal some of that strategy. So I'm anxious to have that webinar as well.
Cool. Well, quick thing before we get into it, wanted to say, of course, POFU Live tickets are available now for that. You can find out more or grab them at pofulive.com. So that is going to be, if you're not familiar, that's a live this year in-person event. So we'll be talking, client acquisition, local SEO, all that sort of good stuff. We've got a lot of great speakers. We've already added 3 more to the page. All right. So we have Mike Merlino is going to be there in Boston, Brian Caddo, Clint Butler. We're going to be having some great talks. We've got several more in the pipeline. So as we get people confirmed, we'll be talking about that, and then still working on the VIP event. On the nailing down the details, but I highly suggest that you get the VIP ticket. We price it so it makes a lot of sense. We really want people to enjoy that, have more time to spend with ourselves, with the guest speakers, with each other, go out, do something fun, have some kind of off the books fun, and enjoy it there while you're there at the event. So that will be taking place the last weekend in September. I believe it's the 29th and 30th. And you can go to pofulive.com, check that out, grab your tickets there. So with that said, let's hop into the questions. We got anything else though? But I guess, did I miss anything, you guys?
No, not that I know of. We've got a ton of questions, so I probably should jump into that.
Let's do it.
Stand by. I got to clean up my desktop a little bit. So just give me a minute.
No worries. I'm going to hop over. Hey guys, what's going on? Just reading the comments here. Jorge, how can we find Bradley on Twitch? Great question. That's the top question of the day. Was it twitch.tv/Bradley Benner?
Yeah, never fails. Nice. Thanks, Jorge.
Yeah.
Had to get one in today for sure. All right, guys, let me go to the screen. Got a ton of stuff to get through. One thing I do want to briefly mention. Let me get the link for it. Stand by 1 second. Continue talking, Adam.
Hey, no, just kidding. No, it's funny. I was looking at some of the past Hump Day Hangouts, and some of the people were commenting on some stuff about more of the kind of productivity and planning and managing. That's definitely been on my mind. I'm on the road visiting family and friends this week, still working. Chris has been on the road. He was out of the country for, Chris, what were you on the road for, like a month?
Exactly 3 weeks.
Nice. So 3 weeks. And I mean, that stuff becomes important because, man, if you don't have a plan and you travel, like your world can fall apart on you. So I appreciate some of the comments people left on there on some of the videos on the previous Hump Day Hangouts where we were talking about that, about kind of time management and productivity, because that stuff is super important, even if you don't travel, obviously. But then once you get on the road, it really, really matters. So cool. All right. What do we got going on here, Bradley? We see got your full desktop, by the way.
How about now?
Full desktop still.
That's fine.
Okay.
I was trying to get to that. So, all right. So just real quick, guys, I dropped this link in chat, but these are the list of local blogs that I have. This grows. We're actually building over 30 local blogs per week right now. So I'm trying to keep this sheet updated about once every 2 weeks or so. I just updated it again on Monday. And currently it shows 239, I think, but we're actually at 246 currently. Just since Monday, we've added another 7 blogs. So I just pointed this out so you guys have this. If you're interested or if you need them, the list is growing. Like I said, it's 30 blogs plus per week. So bookmark that URL and check often. If you've got clients in any one of these locations that would make sense, try it. Just give it a shot, guys, and see what it does, because it's quite powerful for maps. So I just wanted to point that out, because this is something that as our inventory of local blogs continues to grow, it's going to give you more options and, additional locations, etc. So I'm investing a lot of money into this network, and I fully expect this to be something that we're going to just crush it with sometime over the next several months, especially with the directory hybrid agency stuff that I'm doing for our mastermind members. And eventually we're going to launch that as a separate kind of training program. And when we do that, then we're going to have tons of, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not well over 1,000 of local blogs available to help power up client assets in your own directory lead gen assets. That's kind of the point, right? So anyway, just wanted to point that out and share that with you guys. So with that said, I'm going to jump into questions because we got a ton of them. That's a lot. That's the most I think I've ever seen in 1 week in a Google Sheet. So let's just start at the top and go right through them. First one, Hadija, I think that's how you say that. Do these page titles, iPhone Repair Brooklyn and iPhone Screen Repair Brooklyn and iPad Repair Brooklyn and iPad Screen Repair Brooklyn have potential for cannibalization because the resemblance is close? Maybe, probably, but I don't know because I'm not in that industry. One way you could do it would be to test, here's well, if you have Quora, which is Ted Kubaitis's product, there's a volatility, Quora Lite, that's all you need, Quora Lite. You can determine with Quora Lite very quickly if you have 2 pages on the site on one domain, on the same domain, that are targeting iPhone Repair Brooklyn and iPhone Screen Repair Brooklyn, and then you use Quora Lite to put your domain in and set Brooklyn as the search, Brooklyn, New York as the geolocation, and then put in iPhone Repair, then you can run that report and you'll see, it'll show you and you can do that for each one of those search queries is what I'm saying. Each one of those keywords, you can put that in and it will show you, it does, you can set it for more than this, but the default settings are, it does 10 successive searches back to back for the same search query, because Google search results change. They're very fluid, guys. That's why I've been talking about this in the mastermind for months, but rank trackers are inaccurate. They're highly inaccurate. They are a good indication. Well, rank trackers are inaccurate, but also Google's search results are fluid in that they shift often, a lot more than you think they do, right? Because when we look at a rank report, guys, we're looking at a snapshot at the moment that it was captured. That's what the results were at that moment. But they don't, search results change. That's why the Quora volatility report, which you can get from Quora Lite, which I think is $100 a month or something like that. Anyway, that does 10 successive searches for the same search query. You geolocate the browser, and then it does 10, and you can add more if you want, but by default, it's 10 successive searches, and it will show you clearly that Google search results are fluid. They shift constantly. In 10 successive searches, one right after the other, you will see results changing. And so it will tell you if you have cannibalization. If you don't have cannibalization, it'll show the URL that is ranked in the top 100 or whatever results. It'll show you where it's ranked, and it will show you out of all 10 searches where it was ranked. So for example, it might say 70% of the time. So it'll show, like, let's just say it was on a page 1, but it was shifting between position number 2 and 6. Let's just use those as an example. Then it'll show like 10 numbers with commas separated, right? So it'll say 2, 2, 2, 6, 2, 2, 6, 6, right? And so it'll show like each time that it did the search for that particular query, where that keyword landed, where the URL or the domain that you submitted for the report, where it landed in the search results. And then it will say like, okay, out of 10 results, 60% of the time it was a number 2 position, and 40% of the time it was a number 6 position. If there's cannibalization occurring, though, because you've got more than one page on the same domain that are targeting similar titles, right? Then that's where you'll see, like, it'll show up at the top, let's say position, you'll see in the total list of results. So let's say 100 results, you'll see the highlighted yellow line or row, which would be your domain, a page on your domain. And then you'll find further down in the results, another highlighted yellow line, and that's another page. And that'll show the 2 different URLs that are competing for that same search query. And so when the one URL that may be further up that's ranking better is ranking it for, remember, 10 successive searches, they're comma separated, showing the position in which that URL appeared for each one of those searches. So if there are 2 pages that are competing for the same search query, same search query, same term, at least according to Google, then let's say those 2 different rows of data, which are to be 2 different URLs, where it shows up at the top, it's going to have the position that it showed up in. So let's say 2 again. And then for all the times that it didn't show up at the top, but the other URL showed up at the bottom, there will be an X for that top line, and vice versa. The one that showed up at the bottom, so the other page, it'll be an X when the one at the top showed up, if that makes sense. I'd show you a report, but I'd have to run one to be able to show you, and that would take several minutes. So I'm not going to do that. But the point is, a Quora Lite report will show you very quickly, within a matter of minutes, if you have any cannibalization issues occurring. So the point that I'm trying to make here with this is, guys, I do a ton of these for clients now for audits, because the biggest issue that I have seen all of this year, for all of 2023, is cannibalization. I've talked about that many, many times on Hump Day Hangouts. I mean, even some really good SEOs ask me to take a look at their projects. I look at their projects and I identify cannibalization issues, because it is occurring. It's rampant right now. It's huge. And so Quora, invest in that. If you have projects that are suffering, invest in Quora Lite. It's $97 a month, I think. I pay for the full thing. So I think I paid, I don't know, 200 and some odd dollars a month or something for it. But Quora Lite's like $100 a month. You can run all of your reports for all of your keywords for all of your clients in a month, and then cancel if you want. Ted even says that he's okay with that. So do it, right? Go get it and run it, and you'll see for yourself. And that's the best way to do it. I don't know that industry. My guess is, just from looking at the queries, the search terms that you've added here, they're likely are cannibalizing each other, but I don't know that for sure. Here's an interesting kind of case study I did an audit yesterday for one of my link building clients. And by all accounts, that particular site that I audited yesterday should be experiencing cannibalization issues, because he has multiple pages on the site that are targeting the exact same SEO title. And it's an Australian project. It's .com.au domain. And for whatever reason, it is not suffering from cannibalization. And I have no idea why it's not, because it ought to be. So I advised him to still go through and retitle his pages and all that other stuff, because I told him, I said, look, I cannot explain why there's no cannibalization occurring here. My guess is it will occur if it hasn't yet. So most of the time, that's what I see is cannibalization issues. Occasionally, very rarely, I will come across something that ought to cause cannibalization, but isn't. And I don't know why that is. I honestly have no idea why that is. But anyway, hopefully that's clear. Go check out Quora Lite, and you'll be able to figure that out on your own. It's worth the investment, because if you're having trouble ranking the pages that you want to rank to generate leads for your business, then you could spend an enormous amount of time and testing and trial and error to try to figure out whether it's cannibalizing or not, when you could have just invested $97, spent a few minutes running some reports on the top level terms and determining if there's cannibalization. It's going to save you a ton of time just to spend a little bit of money. So that's what I would recommend that you do. Okay. Be efficient with your time, guys. As I've said before, sometimes saving a few dollars just costs too much, right? So I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't really want to spend $100. I'll just do it myself. But if you spend 5-6 hours on something that you could have figured out in a matter of minutes by spending $100, you know, what's your time worth? So I can't answer that. You have to answer that. All right. Esther's up says there's a way a web page wasn't done right. Maybe during the migration to Elementor, the second half of the page can't be edited. I've tried to create new containers and copy paste the info, but then I can't delete what is already there, meaning there will be duplicate content. How do I fix it? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not a web design guy, Esther. I'm sorry. This is I'm an SEO guy. So I have, there's really not enough context in that question for me to be able to provide any guidance on this. I really don't know what the issue is. Sorry, it's kind of just an odd question. I don't know that I can help you with that. Contact Elementor support, right? If you've got Elementor, contact their support. Say, I tried to convert my site from whatever, a normal theme to Elementor, and this is what's occurring. Have them help you. I'm not an Elementor developer. I can't help you with that. I use Elementor, but I don't know what your specific situation is. That seems like a question that should be directed to Elementor support, right? Not that I'm not trying to help. I don't know how to help you with that question is what I'm saying. So moving on. Next one is Austin. Hey guys, from your experience, which is better, having a free automated opt-in for getting a free SEO audit to capture emails as lead gen for SEO agencies or doing small paid audits and then lead towards full managed SEO services? I don't want to come across too cheap or unprofessional, but at the same time, keen to try something to boost lead gen. You know, that's a good question. I've not done paid audits for agency clients. I've done it for white label stuff a lot, but not for agency clients. I've done free audits for that. And a lot of the times, you know, even just doing, you know, David Sprague has a lot of tools that are good for that. Because you can drive traffic via cold email, YouTube ads, display ads. So Google Display Network ads, stuff that is inexpensive to run ads for, that you can drive people to nice looking land, your chosen prospect, which I hope is in a specific industry, because Me Too agencies, you know, generalist agencies aren't really good at anything. Me Too agency, right? Specialize, because then you can develop all of your marketing, messaging, all of your creatives and everything around one industry. And you can test and test and test and dial in what converts, right? And so here's an example of what I mean. David Sprague has a bunch of tools that do stuff similar to this. There's one that's called rep videos or reputation videos. I call them review commercials. And here's an example. I've got on my agency or my directory domain as a subdomain, video.treecarehq.com. I can drive traffic to this, right? Through cold email, through the directory, through ads, etc., through YouTube ads, through Google Display Network ads. I can drive traffic to this to tell people to just claim their free video, right? Claim their free review commercial. And this is a lead gen. That's all it is. It's just to capture their information, and it goes through the system and it basically automatically creates this review commercial that looks nice and et cetera. That's one of them. Another one is, I think, that I have is called, I think, Score. This is called Local Analyzer. Again, another David Sprague product. Score, I think it is. S-K-O-R-E, or maybe it's Scan. It might be Scan. No, that's it. Score.treecarehq.com. You see, it looks the same, but this is basically Local Analyzer is an audit tool. It's David Sprague's. I mean, you don't have to use David Sprague's. I'm just giving you examples. These are all templates that all you do is add your image, your logo, a couple of contact details. You can change the, you know, this stuff around if you want, like I did, but you've got these different options that you can drive traffic to, again, it's free to capture the lead. And then throughout the process, when you deliver the report, then that, you know, now you've got their contact information and you can follow up with them via cold email, phone, however you want, to pitch them on other services. Does that make sense? Build a directory. right? That's what, again, I can't stress enough how successful that has been to build a directory in a particular industry. And then you use cold outreach to your to just confirm the information for the prospects that you've automatically added to the directory. So that's the pitch. That's the approach. That is how you initiate a conversation with your ideal prospect. Create a industry specific directory, scrape all the leads in that industry in a particular state. You can do it nationwide. Import them in your directory and then do cold outbound email campaigns to those contractors or companies in your directory, asking to confirm their contact information for their free listing on your directory site. You're not approaching them as a marketing person or as an SEO or as anything else other than a support technician with the directory. All you're trying to do is confirm their information so that they have accurate contact information for their listing, their free listing on your directory, right? And so once they reply, now you know you've got somebody, you've got direct communication with either the owner or an executive or somebody at the company, right? So that automatically, and I teach all of this in the mastermind, I have full standard operating procedures for this, but that automatically when they reply goes into a sales pipeline. And now you have nurture sequences that email them every 2 or 3 days or whatever it is that you want, where you can send them offers like this, right? Like, hey, thanks for confirming your information. By the way, right now we currently have an audit where you can check to see what your online visibility score is. Go check it out. It's free, right? Whatever. I just pulled that out of the air. But what I'm saying is you can send things like score.treecarehq.com or video.treecarehq.com. You can put that in a nurture sequence where you just, but you already got the lead, right? But here's the thing. These types of processes like the video, for example, getting pitching a free video, super easy to build or create that video with rep videos. And so it's like little to no work, especially when you develop a process so that a VA manages the leads, processes the leads for you. You don't even have to do it. It just gets done. Next thing you know, they get a video and then you follow up with them. Like, hey, by the way, you've got this really nice looking video now. What would you like to do to promote it so that you get eyeballs to it? That's how we can help. Here's how we can do that for you, right? You pitch them on your services that augment what these kind of free lead magnets are, right? It helps to get better results for whatever the lead magnet was. So there's just a number of things that you can do, man. Anyway, hopefully that's clear. I haven't done paid audits for agency clients. I do for white label clients all the time because my audits are very thorough and I have to get paid for it because of the amount of time that goes into it. So, and I'm not charging enough. I just looked at one of our members who's also launched recently some white label services and their audit is $100 more than mine. and I do the audits. I'm not charging enough. I know I'm not, but I want them to be affordable because, I want to make them more accessible to others. Anyway. Paid audits do work, by the way, especially if you can really showcase your expertise and then you obviously promote your own solutions throughout the audit. And that's why, again, paid audits are good if they're super thorough, which mine are, which is why I have to charge for it. But at the same time, it ends up directing people to purchase your products or services. So if you think that's part of the reason why I know I'm not charging enough for my audit, but at the same time, the vast majority of the audits that I deliver lead to more business, right? So in my opinion, it's kind of a trade-off, right? Pay me now or pay me later. Does that make sense? That's essentially what that does. Anyway, moving on. Phil says, how would you approach monetizing a directory with no free listings, only paid ones? Well, that is monetizing the directory, Phil. If you only sell paid listings, then that is a monetized directory. I think what you're asking is, are there other, like, what ways would you monetize a directory other than just the paid listing? Is that what you mean? So a premium listing would be a paid listing, whether it's an annual fee or a monthly subscription fee or whatever. But I've talked about this before. There's a number of other things you can do. You can sell advertising space. If you generate enough traffic, you can sell advertising, advertisements. So, and I don't just mean putting like Google Display Network AdSense on your site. You can do that, but you could sell specific ads. If it's a local directory, which I don't recommend, I prefer, I recommend it depends on what your model is, but personally, I recommend a niche specific or industry specific directory, because then you can go national with it, or even global if you wanted. Whereas a local directory, it's a local directory. So it's general business directory for all the businesses in a one specific area or city. Does that make sense? So you know, depending on think about if it's a local directory and you have a lot of local traffic, then you can sell specific advertisements, advertising space, or like a banner for a month. You could place a banner at the top of the local directory for a month and charge rental fee for that banner space for a month, right? That's another thing you can do. If it's a niche specific directory, you can do the same thing. You can charge, you know, advertising space, et cetera, for, you know, different companies that would serve that audience space that would be visiting that directory, right? So you can do that. You can also build a list, right? Give away something. Again, if it's an industry specific directory, for example, tree care HQ, I could put stuff on there like, you know, seasonal tree care guide. You know, what services to like what tree care services should be implemented at what time of the year, et cetera, like something like that. I'm just using that as an example to build a list. Now you've got an email list that you can market to, related products and services to, right? So there's just so many different things that you can do with the directory, guys. You can sell affiliate products, again, that are relevant to the people that would be visiting that directory. There's just so many things that you can do with the directory, guys. But the point is you got to build a directory that gets traffic, right? Because if it doesn't have traffic, it's not really doing. I mean, in my case, I use a directory specifically only to start a conversation with my ideal prospect, period. But if you have a directory that you can build authority to and build some traffic and everything else, it opens up a lot of doors and opportunity for alternative ways to monetize. Okay. Edward says, how would you approach SEO reputation management for a company name plus name of government organization, negative keyword in the SERPs with local articles? How would you approach SEO reputation management for company name plus name of government organization, negative keyword in the SERPs with local articles? I have no idea what that question means. Edward, if you're here, if you can resubmit the question with some more detail or clarity. Can anybody else here perhaps interpret that? I don't know what the question is. I'm sorry.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not
Negative
company.
SERPs with local articles.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand what the question is. So instead of me just taking some wild ass guess, I'm just going to skip it. Edward, if you're here and you can provide a little bit more clarity, I'll try to answer it. I hate not answering questions, guys, but if I don't understand it, then it's just a waste of everyone's time to try to answer it. So John says, do you think there's still benefit in CTR manipulation in amongst real traffic and other SEO strategies for our campaigns? Does it provide much boost for competitive stuff? If CTR is done properly, yeah, it can. It can. It absolutely can, if it's done properly. So it's interesting. I've done a lot of testing and I've seen for a long time, I was doing a lot of referral traffic with CTR bots through tier 1 links. And I've seen a significantly waning effect from that over the, the last, I don't know, this year for sure. But the last several months. So I'm not even really doing it anymore. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time setting up and managing those CTR campaigns because I've saw less and less effect from it. Where I'm still seeing a significant effect from CTR manipulation is clicking, like searching clicks from Google. So from Google search, that still has a significant effect. If you do it properly, if you overdo it, then Google just starts to ignore it because it knows it's manipulated signals. If it's an unnatural volume of signals being sent compared to all the competitors and also compared to where your position is at the time that you start manipulating signals. And that's why, again, like, it's important, guys, if you don't do it right, Google starts to just ignore it because it says, oh, this is obviously manufactured traffic, right? Which is why it's so important to do it properly. Start always with brand searches, guys, brand signals, right? Always start with brand signals. And I can't, Doesn't matter how many times I say it or other people say it, because it's not just me that teaches this. There's others do that. And again, we see it all the time. People want to do CTR manipulation. They have a brand that nobody searches for, and they go immediately for keywords, start hammering away at keyword search and clicks when the brand itself has no authority, right? So why do that? Google's going to ignore that, especially if you're on page 2 or you're on position 14 in maps, and all of a sudden you start getting search and clicks. That is completely unnatural. Google's going to ignore all that. They're going to say this is manufactured traffic, manufactured signals. We're going to ignore it. So don't do that. Do it properly. Start with brand signals, ramp up slowly, start to incorporate keyword. We do a ton of stuff. You have to do it through a very progressive process, or else it doesn't help. But as I mentioned before, search and clicks from Google work really well. I've also noticed referral traffic from one Google property to another, that makes a significant difference. So if you run referral traffic through like Google Business Post URLs, Sheets, Google Sheets, G Sites, etc., I've seen still a significant effect from that. But from just referral traffic, just spoofed traffic from just random tier 1 links to the money site and stuff, I'd stopped seeing a benefit from that. It worked like gangbusters a year and a half ago. I mean, it crushed it for real, but I'm not seeing near as much of an effect from that anymore. And it's really just not worth the effort to maintain those campaigns. Hopefully that's clear. William says, hey guys, in my agency, I also offer hosting at a pretty cheap monthly rate of around $20. Till now, I handle all updates and backups automatically and some core security and uptime monitoring. Wondering if I should charge extra for this or just include it for free. I don't know. $20 a month seems like pretty. I mean, I don't know. It's not something I would do. So shit, if you can get away with it, obviously charge more, right? I mean, I'm not saying that just to charge more, but if you're doing work stuff that, hosting management for your clients, then that ought to be monetizable, right? You ought to get something for it. I mean, if they just, I don't know. It's not something I would do. So, but if I was going to do it, I would obviously charge the client something. I would probably train a VA, not probably. I would train a VA to do that stuff though. So it wouldn't be me, but I don't know. I think you probably should, if you are doing that kind of stuff, add $5 to it or something. Sorry, I can't be more helpful with that, man. It's just not really a service that I provide. I try to stick to SEO. Daniel says, hey guys, what are your thoughts on SEO packages? Trying to think something I can package together that's easy to manage and affordable for small local businesses. Daniel, there's nothing better that you can do for your business, your agency, than to productize your services. Have service packages that are duplicatable, repeatable. I've been hammering away at this in our mastermind too for months, and you can't scale custom SEO work, guys. You can't do it because it requires you. Everything's custom. When you do custom SEO proposals and everything, and some of you, that's all you want to do. That's fine. That's fine. If that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy, do it. I'm not trying to convince anybody here of anything else, but if you want to create a scalable business model so that you can make crazy amounts of money, you need to stop trading hours for dollars. And if you're doing custom SEO proposals and custom SEO plans for every freaking client that requires your personal input to not only develop the plans, but to manage and everything else, that's not scalable. Right? Because it requires you and your specific effort. You have to have duplicatable, repeatable deliverables that then you can delegate or automate in order to be able to have a scalable agency that can produce fuck you money, right? Or else you're trading hours for dollars, which is fine, guys. You can be, most people come into this business and say that they run an SEO business. I mean, you might be a business owner, you might have a company, but most SEOs are self-employed, and that's fine, guys. I'm not trying to knock that, right? I'm not saying that at all. My link building business, guys, I've delegated the vast majority of everything, but it still does require my personal input, and I couldn't walk away from that business, and it wouldn't last on its own without me yet. But I've been able to get most of it delegated to where I have a much smaller input than I used to. But there's still certain things that I just will not relinquish control of. And that is like reviewing target URLs and anchor text assignments and things like that. That's all, everything still runs through me for my approval. for that. But so I'm not saying I'm immune to this or that I'm any better, guys. I've just learned over the years, I've been doing this business long enough that I finally realized, and I talked about this in our mastermind last week. Starting my white label SEO services is what really made me aware of this, because prior to that, even for my own local SEO agency, I still had a lot of customization for every client. So every single time I would quote a client, like when I started Tree Care HQ, I had my Google Business SEO as kind of like, that was my starting point, which I had a flat monthly fee for that. Well, variable monthly fee depending on competition levels, but it started at $850 a month, flat out, for just Google Business SEO services. And that was always my pitch. So that was somewhat productized. But still, once I would get on a call with a client, what I call discovery call, because I always do 2 call closes instead of a single call close. So I'd always have a discovery call, and then I would have the closing call after a 3-day period or whatever. So on the discovery call, I would identify other areas that then I would add to a custom proposal. So there was a repeatable deliverable, but then I would always add customization to it. And it wasn't until I started my white label SEO services that I realized that I had to, out of necessity, develop repeatable, duplicatable deliverables. And then all of a sudden, my income just exploded. My revenue like exponentially increased when I was able to do that. Why? Because it's scalable, right? You can train and delegate every part of that. And so now you can create or take on more volume, more work, because now if I take on more work than what our current team can handle, we just onboard new employees and put them right through the SOP training. And now, because I've got the SOPs and I have so many employees that are trained and I have project managers that are trained, et cetera, I don't even have to do the training anymore, right? I just assign the SOP and then I assign to one of my project managers or one of their subordinates to work with that new hire until they're fully trained and autonomous, if that makes sense. So SEO packages are a fantastic way to, and guys, that's what again, talk about this, guys, like think about, I think a lot of us, and myself included, it's hard not to get 100% invested in every SEO project that you work on. It's hard not to, right? Because especially if you are results driven or oriented, et cetera, it's hard not to provide the best results that you possibly can for your client. But think about what the most successful agencies that make fuck you money do. And I'm not saying that we model their bad practices at treating their customers like shit, but what do big agencies do? They have incredible marketing and sales teams, and they bring on tons of, they're always generating new revenue because they don't take care of their clients. Most big agencies don't really do a very good job for their clients, which is why there's a lot of churn. But what do they do to generate the kind of money that they do? They have marketing and sales teams in place and that's what they're constantly generating new revenue for the agency, bringing new clients in, right? They also have a high churn rate. They have a high attrition rate, meaning they lose a lot of clients because they don't perform at their, provide the results that they probably promise. That happens a lot with larger agencies, but they make a hell of a lot more money than we do as smaller agencies, right? And I'm not saying that we model that where we go out and sell, constantly are onboarding new people. We should be taking care of our clients. If you have any integrity whatsoever, you should be doing everything you can to produce the result. But instead of investing 100% of your attention into every SEO project because that you're promising the world, find out what the biggest levers are that you can pull in SEO that have historically produce results consistently, and focus in on those and do those, right? Create packages around that and then scale that, because you can duplicate and delegate or automate any of those, right? You can, and that's the thing that I'm saying. You're not going to win all of them, right? You're not going to hit it out of the park every time. You're not going to hit a home run every time, but you can hit, what I mean by that is if you land 100 clients, maybe 80 of them are going to get good results for your deliverables, your repeatable deliverables, because you're working on the things that you know are going to produce, that historically produce results, have a history, consistently produce results. And you do that. You have the deliverables. That's your deliverable, right? You promise the deliverable, you provide that every single month, and it should produce results. And sometimes it's not. And so then it's up to you. Do you want to take more personal individual attention for that? Can you hire a skilled SEO that then you can assign to those projects that aren't responding quite as well to your normal deliverables, where then you add on some additional services, et cetera? Like have a process for that. Like once you identify, if you have repeatable, duplicatable deliverables that produce results most of the time for most clients, now you've got a real business that you can scale. And then for those clients that those big levers that you're pulling on aren't producing the results because they have a unique situation, which you're going to come across often, then you can have a skilled SEO, or you can do it yourself, at least initially. But my recommendation to, as a business owner, as an agency owner, is to find a skilled SEO that then you can have assign them to those projects to do the extra stuff when needed, right? So that you are still producing the result. And by the way, you can have that as an add-on, like as a hey, listen, we're doing what we do for all of our clients, and it typically does, but this is a unique situation, Mr. or Ms. Client. And because of that, this is our recommendation. It's going to require some extra special attention, and we have this as an add-on for that, for that reason, which can be consultation. It can be a certain amount of hours per month of additional SEO work or whatever. Like there's a number of ways that you can monetize that too, and package that up to where, again, it's a repeatable deliverable. It might require a skilled SEO to do consulting and analysis and everything else, but you sell it in packages. Like here's a 5-hour monthly add-on for $500 or something like that is what I'm saying. Because now you've got, again, a repeatable deliverable. Does that make sense? So SEO package is one of the best things that you can do, guys, because now you, and by the way, that's the other thing, guys, think about that. Now you can develop a marketing campaign, and all your sales messaging and everything is all about, like, you should have one lead in product, right? That's what you should always have: one lead in product, one basic deliverable that you push, and then you have ascension products, right? Or services where you can ascend them up the ladder, right? They call that an ascension ladder, to different higher level services or add-ons or cross sells, et cetera. That makes sense. But that way you have one service that you pitch, and you get really good at figuring out what it takes to convert a prospect to a sale for that one service, right? And then once you develop a relationship, at least I found that to be a successful way to do it, is once you develop a relationship with that client and you provide some initial results for them, et cetera, then you can always upsell them to additional services at that point, or a higher level plan, whatever. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense, guys. Next one is from Eli. Says, hey guys, I have an older powerful PC I occasionally use for scrapebox, but other than that, I don't do much. Is there anything I can do with it with minimal effort to make some money and monetize the computer power I have? I don't know. I can't think of anything. Run SEO tools, I guess. I don't know. Desktop apps for CTR. I actually bought separate PCs specifically just to run CTR apps, which now I don't run any desktop apps. I do everything via cloud-based services. So I've got several PCs that I ran just for CTR that aren't really even being used now. Yeah, I can't really help you with that. If you run a bunch of spam tools and stuff, you could use it for that, but I don't do any of that anymore. So Carl says, hey, I'm wondering what you would suggest for building and hosting landing pages for PPC agencies that is cost effective and can go onto a subdomain that's no indexed, or can we just make HTML landing pages and upload manually? Yeah, you can do that. For ad campaigns, I've been using swipe pages. I really like this. I got this on a lifetime deal on AppSumo a long time ago. But for ads, for Google Ads campaigns, I love this swipe pages because they are super fast loading. Guys, there's so many apps out there now that like this. I'm just telling you, this is the one that I have experience with. But this is really good for Google Ads, and that's why I bought it, was just for Google Ads landing pages. And I like it a lot because it's very, very fast. You can host them on a subdomain or whatever domain you want, et cetera. And it works really good. I've been using this for 2 or 3 years now for Google Ads landing pages, and it works phenomenally well. And it's not very expensive, or at least it wasn't. So there you go. Unlimited landing pages for $29 a month. It's not bad. Anyway, yeah, there's plenty of apps out there like this. Marketing Blocks is another one that has some AI stuff built into it. There's just a number of them out there. You can probably go to AppSumo and find some landing page builders and things like that right now. So if you're comfortable building your own kind of, another one, guys, here's another one. It's a little bit more manual, but MobiRise, right? MobiRise is a HTML page builder, but it's a drag and drop page builder. Very much like, you know, page builders that you've been in like Elementor or Baker or, you know, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, this is really, really good for developing really nice looking HTML sites, which is a drag and drop editor. And then you just download the files and upload them manually to your, and they might even have an FTP connection now. I don't know. I haven't done this in a while. But yeah, that's another way you could do it. So there you go. Moving on. Swipe pages right now, $4.99 per year on AppSumo. There you go. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Oh, and Selmo says for using a PC crypto mining, you earn just enough to pay for electricity. That's funny. Cecilia says that was a great nugget for combining packaged SEO with clients who have issues. Yeah, absolutely, Cecilia. That's one of the things that I was thinking about after a conversation or chat conversation we had on Twitch one morning or something about that. And I was talking about MobiRise does have FTP. Richard says, thank you, Richard. But yeah, you know, to get back to what I was saying for Cecilia, because I know Cecilia, I hope you're all right with this, Cecilia. I know she does a lot of custom SEO stuff. And that's fine. But like I said, you can't scale that because it requires you're trading your own time for money. And that is not scalable. You can only work on one project at a time that way, right? You can only charge billable hours to one client for the hours that you're working. You know what I'm saying? You can't charge 5 clients for the same hour. So you're limited. You're significantly limiting your income potential if it's you doing all the SEO work. So that's why I said packaged services, right? Those are the deliverable are the service. You provide that every month, and it should produce a result if you use the proper services, etc. But sometimes it's not, or sometimes there's going to be projects that are going to need extra special attention. So that's when you add the custom component to it. And again, you can even package that as additional SEO support when needed, which you can recommend, and you can have different pricing levels for that too. You can do it hourly, or you could do 5 hours for a bundled package at a set price. It's an add-on per month, and they get additional 5 hours of SEO consultation, etc. Whatever. I'm saying there's a number of things that you can do, but create packages for that too. So now you've got, again, repeatable deliverables. So now you have a process that if you are still the one doing the SEO customization work, then fine, at least initially. But if you package it to where, again, you've got, like, again, let's just say 5 hours as an add-on, then you can end up hiring a skilled SEO that can do that for you. And then they know each time you got a new client that accepts that, they now have another 5 hours of work that they're going to be responsible for per month, if that makes sense, right? And you can also pay accordingly, because then you can pay on a per task basis instead of an hourly basis. There's just so many different things that you can do to still use productized services, but then also have a custom component, right? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Quentin says, where's a place we can buy expired legit accounts like Gmails, Twitters, Tumblrs, Pinterest, etc. Looking to set up lots of syndication networks, but need Gmail accounts. Right now, Gmail accounts is difficult. It really and truly is. It's getting harder and harder. That's why it's getting harder to find providers that sell accounts that will last. You can still buy accounts all day long, but Gmail accounts, and then, you know, in 3 days they're suspended. So it sucks. It's very difficult right now. And Google's getting better at preventing spam. And Cecilia, once again, mentioning her again, she posted, which I was completely unaware of, but apparently in December of this year, Gmail accounts that have not been active at all within the last 2 years, I think it was, are going to be terminated. So I'm not even ready to approach that yet. I've got to figure out a way to keep all of my accounts active somehow. I haven't figured it out. I haven't even started to look into that yet, and I'm not going to anytime soon. I'll wait until right before I need to, and I'll figure it out. So anyway, I can't help you with that. You can just go to Google and search buy accounts. If anybody here in chat knows of a good place to buy accounts, by all means, post it in chat. I just don't know of anywhere to buy them. We had to kind of overcome that issue internally for our own processes. And what we do is we're not in a position where we're going to be able to sell accounts. So I'm not going to share our method. Sorry, I can't. Tristan says, what's the quickest way to find heaps of keywords and topics worth going after with minimal competition for affiliate SEO? I mean, use the all in title function, writer's end. I've got that open right here because I was doing, here, I might as well demonstrate this since I've got it open. I've got a tree service contractor that he's in a particular area of the country where the emerald ash borer is wreaking havoc on trees. And so we had a call earlier it was Friday last week. Him and I had a call, and we're going to do a really targeted campaign for emerald ash borer tree services, emerald ash borer related tree services. So I just did this in Keyword Explorer today. This is writer's end, guys, writersend.net. It's fabulous for SEO competition, for true SEO it's a measure of SEO competition for keywords using the all in title function. That's what they call the golden score. So in other words, you go to the Keyword Explorer, you plug in a keyword. In this case, it was emerald ash borer. Okay. And then you set the geography or whatever at the search location, and then it comes back with all these keywords, all right, which it pulls in the data and it gives you search volume, CPC data, cost per click, etc. And then you click the golden score button, and depending on how many credits you have, and you can buy by the way, guys, you can buy the subscribe at the lowest level account, which is I think $29 a month or something. And then you can buy keyword credits in one-off packages. So you don't have to subscribe at a higher level. Just subscribe at the lowest level and then just buy keyword credits. And that's it. Like it's very inexpensive to do it. Very inexpensive. Anyway, once it pulls in all the keywords, you click the golden filter button. It's going to prompt say, are you sure you want to use your credits to apply the golden filter? Just say yes. And then it comes up with the golden score. And that's the all in title option here. What you're seeing here is it goes out and it does, and then it assigns its own kind of proprietary golden score to it. But it shows you how many pages are indexed in Google that have that specific query or term in that order in the SEO title. It can have stuff prepended or appended to it, right? So it can have other words in the SEO title, but as long as that phrase is in the SEO title, it's going to show, and the SEO title, the meta title, it's going to show that's all in title, right? And so this is showing like emerald ash borer damage gets about 2,400 searches per month in the United States. And there's 80 pages online or indexed on the web with that in the SEO title. Does that make sense? So I can look at the all in titles, and then they have, once the golden filter has been applied, then you can apply either the by ranking probability filter or the by potential value filter. So again, if we go take a look at select all without a golden filter applied, it's showing 1,358 keywords around emerald ash borer, excuse me. But if I come over here to golden score and I show by ranking probability, it's showing 1,207 out of those 1,358 keywords are likely to rank because they have low competition, meaning low competing pages for that same search query in the SEO title. Okay. If I go by potential value, it's significantly less because this is showing, let me get rid of that. This is showing that there are only the keywords that have, according to their own proprietary algorithm, potential value because they have significant enough search volume and or CPC, cost per click data, that there's some value, measurable value for it to be worthy of an effort to rank for. By ranking probability shows a much higher number because these show even low search, like very, very low search volume or stuff with zero CPC data, et cetera. But again, this one shows some sort of value, higher search volumes and or higher CPC values. And that's why this one has less. That makes sense. So this is what I use. And I teach this in the mastermind specifically on how to identify low competition areas to rank for local lead gen stuff using writer's end. Okay, this is one of the tools that we use to discover low competition stuff. That makes sense. So this is a great tool, guys. It's really, really good for this. And again, it's very inexpensive. Get the lowest subscription you can, and then just buy keyword credit packs as needed. Okay. Brian says keyword supremacy does something similar. Yeah, you're right. It does. So keyword supremacy is another option as well. I had that. I wasn't crazy about it. I have to be in. And by the way, they do have their own dashboard. I used it through Zagio, but I wasn't crazy about the WordPress interface, et cetera. So I've been using this for, I don't know, a year and a half, something like that. It's a great tool. But you're right. There are other tools that do this. It doesn't have to be Writers End. This is just the one I use. Moving on. Bryce says, for growing our agencies, would you suggest doing all sales prospecting ourselves, or do you see any value in hiring those companies that offer appointment setting? Appointment setting is great. I would do sales in-house. But yeah, I mean, full transparency, I've been using a company for my appointment setting for a little over a year, about a year and about 14 months now. And they did such a phenomenal job for semantic links that we ended up hiring them for Local Fury and for semantic SEO, et cetera. We've used the same company now for multiple. In fact, I'll just show you guys. I've got no problem sharing this with you because Attaché and his team are fabulous. Eagle Info Systems. Systems.com, I believe. Well, son of a bitch, if I could spell. Why am I missing his? Oh, because it says .pom. That's why.
There you go.
I'm still missing it.
Huh. Well, let me grab it in the background. I've got it.
If you don't mind. Yeah, if you don't mind, grab the URL so I can share that, because I got a testimonial video on their homepage. It might not be .com.
It is. Let me pull up his email. Let me just see if this is working. Copy and paste it in the background. And there we go. Do you want me to just put it in chat or put it in Slack?
Yeah, just go ahead and put it in chat and I'll click on it from chat.
All right, there we go. I'm just going to pop it in without any. There you go.
Ego Info Services. I said systems. That's why. Okay. So this team right here, egoinfoservices.com. Attaché is the guy that runs this. He's fabulous. His team is awesome. There has been some changes, and there's me. And like this was many months. I mean, this was last year, but it's great. The point that I'm trying to make here is, and I have a monthly call with Attaché, who runs this service. And we just had our meeting last week, and apparently ESP, email service providers, have really cracked down on cold email. And so we're having a hell of a time with keeping domains inboxing. So cold email domains inboxing. And so I'm so grateful that I have him hand a whole team of people that manage all this stuff, because I don't have any desire or the really time or bandwidth to continually keep up to date with what is working in cold email, because it's just a pain in the ass. It really is. So I hired them to do it. It's not cheap, but it's great because they manage it 100%, and I only pay for booked appointments that show up to the call. So, and it's expensive, guys. It is, but it's worth it because they generate leads, and I was able to grow semantic links. When I hired them, I was at a particular revenue level. And when I hired this company, I had plans to triple, well, 2.5 times, 2.5x my monthly recurring revenue. When the moment that I hired them, no kidding, I had a particular revenue. I was at a certain level. And I said, in 6 months from today, I want to be at 2.5x that amount. And I hired this company, and damn if I didn't hit it 2 weeks prior to that. That was in April of last year. And I said, by October, I want to hit this particular revenue goal, which was 2.5 times what I was at that moment. And I hit it 2 weeks into September. No shit. And I owe a lot of that to this company. Not all of it, because I did some of that stuff on my own. But I owe a lot of that to Attaché and his team, because they generated really, really good leads for my agency. And so again, they just do the appointment setting, and then I just pay for the booked call. Like if they show up, then I pay for the booked call. And it's expensive, but again, it turned out I 2.5x my agency's revenue just from this service. Well, probably 80% from this service alone. If that makes sense. So is it worth it? Yeah, it is. I would consider keeping your sales team in-house though. at least initially, until you develop a really good sales process, and then you can delegate that if you wanted to. But I think, guys, I can't stress this enough. Marketing and sales is where you should be spending most of your time. That is what generates revenue for your agency. It's not the fulfillment. The fulfillment is a necessary part of running an agency, but that's not what makes you money. What makes you money is marketing and sales. So where that is the highest leverage activity that you can be working on in your business is marketing and sales, because that's what generates the revenue, right? Again, I think this industry is fucked up because so many people come into this industry and say, all I got to do is learn how to rank stuff and I'm going to make money. Bullshit. Some people maybe, but very rarely do people learn how to rank stuff and then they make money. There's a hell of a lot more that goes into that, especially when you're dealing with local SEO guys. You got to get out and sell it, right? You got to sell it in order to make money. You could be the best SEO in the world, but if you don't have a good marketing and sales process, how the hell are you making money from it? Right? So again, going back to the part, and guys, I talk about this a lot because there's so much potential to make money in this industry. And I see so many people struggle, and I've been there too. I get it. So I'm just trying to share with you guys different ways to overcome that and start making real money in this business. Okay. Stop treating it like a hobby, treat it like a business. So Bryce, I would encourage you to check into that Eagle Info Services, not systems, or another service. It doesn't have to be Attachay's. I've been working with him for like 14 months and I'm really happy with him. So, and you can tell him I referred you if you do. All right, guys, we're over. So I'm going to try to roll through the rest of these. I'm sorry I couldn't get in the chat, guys. There was just too many damn questions today. So.
Yeah, Bradley, real quick, there's one I got to hop off, but there was a question in the chat and I wanted to alert everyone. I'm going to put the link in there again. Sorry, let me find it real quick.
You can jump whenever you need to, man. I'll
yeah, Raphael was saying, hey guys, can you talk a little more about the directory course you're planning on launching? I'm interested in that. So all I wanted to say was we popped a link in there. So you can tell us you're interested in that. And if Bradley wants to talk a little bit about that now, he can. If not, we'll of course mention it again, but just put together a quick little survey so you can let us know if you're interested in that. So you can be kind of the first to know and give us a little bit more info on that.
Okay. Yeah. And so yeah, guys, I mean, since we're over, I'm not going to spend a lot of time pitching that right now because I do have some additional questions that I would like to get through. But if you, Raphael, is that who you said it was?
Yep.
Yeah. If you want to complete the little survey that Adam just posted with the type form link, I can reach out to you specifically. We can schedule a call, man. I'm happy to do it. Like, guys, I said this, it was maybe last week on Hump Day Hangouts, but I totally am over the fear of jumping on calls with, prospects or anything else. So I don't hesitate for a moment now. If you fill out that little survey or whatever, and you're seriously interested and you want more information about the directory process and what we offer at Semantic Mastery, let's jump on a quick Zoom call, man, or Zoom meeting, 15 minutes. Let's do it. Let's have a quick chat. Happy to do it. Don't be scared. I'm not going to bite your head off, right? I'm not going to hard sell you and all that. I'm going to tell you what we have and let you make the decision. And that's how I do most of the things now, guys. I just educate and here's what we have. Here's how it will benefit you. Does it sound like it's a good fit? And that's it. So anyway, jump on a call with me. I'd be happy to fill out that survey. If you're serious, I'll reach out to you. We'll schedule a quick call. We'll have a chat about it. And if it's a good fit, hey, come join us. If not, so be it. Come join. You can continue coming to Hump Day Hangouts and learn that way. We've had a lot of people do that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to try to roll through the rest of these. I'm going to stay till 1:15. So I got 12 minutes to try to get through these. So I'll try to keep them a little bit shorter. Sorry, I tend to go off. Jenny says, when creating a link from your GEO PBNs, what tier 2 linking are you doing to the articles on those GEO PBNs? And are those tier 2 links in the right topical trust flow category for the money site, target, or the GEO PBN post it is linking to? I've not started tier 2 linking to those yet, other than I use booster pages for the RSS feeds for the local blogs. And that's it. Other than that, I'm not doing tier 2 linking to the local blogs yet. I've not started to work on that part of the process yet. So I can't give you an answer on that, Jenny. Because I just haven't started doing it yet. I will, it's on my to-do list, but we just started the local blog building in April 1st. So we're only a couple of months into it. And you can see the library, the inventory is growing at the rate of 30 plus blogs per week right now. So I will be approaching that later, but I've got to finish the directory hybrid agency training program that I'm developing with a beta group in our mastermind right now so that we can launch that publicly later this year. That is my number 1 priority right now because my link building business and my services are working well. Of course, the local blogs can be improved upon, but that's kind of on the back burner for now because the local blog links are producing an effect as they are. Once I kind of figure out and develop a process for tier 2 linking to the local blogs, I'll be happy to share that. Not at least conceptually, I might share it in Hump Day Hangouts, but in the mastermind, I will share the exact process that I go through for tier 2 linking to local blogs, because I teach everything that I do in my own businesses in the mastermind as well. If that makes sense. So I don't really have a good answer for you there yet. If I was going to link to a local blog though, with the way that we are placing the links within local blogs, if I was going to link to a local blog post that has my target assets URL in the post, I'm probably going to link with a link that is topically relevant to the local blog, not to my client's blog or my asset that I'm linking to from within there. So that would be a topical relevance mismatch usually, unless you get a local blog that is also topically relevant, which is not, it doesn't happen that often. It can, it's not that often that we get those. So it would make sense to link to a blog with a topically relevant link that is relevant to the blog that it's linking to, not the target URL within the post. Because with local blogs, the topical relevance doesn't matter. I mean, if you can get one that is also topically relevant, you should take that first. But we will use local blogs that don't have topical relevance. They have geographic relevance only. So if I'm going to do tier 2 linking to that, I'm going to try to use topically relevant links that are relevant to the topic of the blog. Does that make sense? So anyway, again, because topical relevance matters, the geographic relevance matters for maps. But if I'm going to be building links to a local blog, I'm going to try to do it with topically relevant links. That makes sense. Anyway, I don't have a process for that yet. When I do, I will share it. Dustin says, how would you approach getting lots of demo websites cheaply to use on portfolio for an agency building websites if we don't have clients in a specific industry and want to enter that space? Build some lead gen assets, man. Here's the thing, guys, build some demo websites in a particular industry and then use that, like that you can monetize those. If you build lead gen assets and they start and you do SEO and they rank, you can use those not only as case studies and in your marketing, but also you can monetize it. It's in your portfolio. You can use it for case studies and marketing. You can also monetize it because you can sell leads or rent the asset or whatever. By the way, the whole directory hybrid agency process is all about building your brand, your agency's brand, a directory brand, which is also the agency brand, and then building local lead gen assets as part of the directory brand, and then using your own lead gen assets as case studies and marketing materials to show prospects in your chosen selected industry the kind of results that you're able to get through your agency, through your niche or industry specific agency, right? So you're building these lead gen assets to be used as case studies and marketing materials or marketing collateral, that is benefiting your brand. You're constantly building authority to your brand, full stop. Like, put your business first. Why do we always put our clients' businesses first? Why not put your business first, right? Think about building your assets, your brand. And so if you do that through your own kind of agency, direct your own brand and in your own branded assets in various locations in that same industry, you can point to those as examples, as case studies. Put that in your marketing material. Look, and document it. When you build these things out, document the before and after, before, during, and after. Here's where the SERP was when we started. Here's the SERP a month in. Here's the SERP 3 months in. Mr. or Ms. Prospect, can you see yourself, your business in this position? Go do a brand search for your business. What does it look like? Well, look at what it looks like when we apply our methods. Here's examples. Would you like yours to look like that? Well, we can do that for you, right? So again, guys, build your brand, your assets, and then use that for your marketing. And then you can show that to your intended prospect. And if it's in the same industry, it makes it easier for them to visualize that that's their business, seeing that kind of growth or increased exposure, et cetera. Does that make sense? And then again, you can always monetize that. Do you know any solid white label apps like Zapier or IFTTT? I do not. anybody else here knows, by all means, share it. I do not. Brian says, Bradley, can you sum up or talk about how you're using Evo 4 for SEO clients? I'm not yet. Specifically, which bucket sites are best for the strategy? I'm not yet. Not that I'm not going to, but it had not been developed into a far enough along yet to where I'm using it for client work. It's still very much in testing phase for me. So I'm not, Brian, just not yet. When I have started testing for that, I will certainly share it. I'm going to be doing training for Peter and Evo 4. But I have not been, I don't have anything for you yet. Padre says, any advice for multi-language WordPress sites trying to get indexed in different languages, subdomain plugins, etc.? Thanks for all the great knowledge over the year. No, because I don't do any foreign language stuff, but I know that there are plugins that will do that. Years ago, I dabbled a little bit with it, but I never stuck with it because I don't know foreign languages. I'm a dumb American, you know what I mean? So I don't do any, but I know there's plugins and stuff that will do that. I can't give you any advice on this, Padre, just because I don't have any experience in that. If anybody here does, by all means, share it. I don't do stuff in foreign languages. Sorry. So, but I know there's plugins and stuff that will do it. Okay. Christopher says, hey, Bradley, when you first verify a GBP listing, how long should you wait before starting to make edits to it, such as adding phone numbers, adding websites, adding photos, etc.? We thought we'd get your opinion because we don't want to do anything abrupt in Google's eyes, which could lead to our newly verified Google business profile listing being suspended or banned. Thank you. Okay. So Christopher, number one, I always recommend trying if it's a real valid business location that you can verify and re-verify if needed, then I wouldn't really sweat it so much. Just do what you got to do. As long as you're not changing the Google business category or significantly changing the name, then or the location itself, like the actual physical location, those are the three biggest things that cause suspensions right now is significantly changing the Google business profile name. When I say significantly changing, I mean, because if you're taking a brand name and just appending a location modifier or adding or removing LLC or INC or something like that, that's not a significant name change. Okay. Changing the name completely is a significant name change. That can trigger a suspension. Changing the Google business category from one category to something completely different can trigger a suspension. Changing it from one category to another related category often likely won't cause a suspension. Meaning, here's an example, sports medicine clinic or sports medicine surgeon or physician or whatever. That's just an example. Orthopedic clinic, orthopedic surgeon. I'm just saying that because it's fresh in my mind. I've got a client in that space. Recently, I've been working on that. So that's why it's fresh in my mind. Those are two different, like orthopedic clinic and orthopedic surgeon, they're very similar. So if you were to change the Google business category from one to the other, that's not likely, very unlikely that it will cause a suspension. But changing from orthopedic surgeon to dentist, that's going to trigger a suspension, most likely, because it's a significantly different Google business category change. I do recommend, though, trying to complete as much of that stuff if it's not a valid business listing and you're trying to spam or lead gen or whatever, then you try to get all of the optimization done when you're going through the setup process. Try to optimize as much as you possibly can through the initial process before you even verify it. That way, once you verify it, you can pretty much leave it untouched, other than perhaps even the Google business website you can publish now while you're waiting to verify the Google business profile. I know because it's funny, but the same tree care contractor I was talking about earlier for the Emerald Ash Borer keyword, we're expanding. We're adding some Google business profiles for this contractor. And I actually registered a new Google business profile yesterday through a Workspace account, and I got phone verification, which I was shocked. I got phone verification. Now, I verified it via phone, and it's been pending verification now for, I don't know, 30 hours. So I'm wondering, it didn't automatically go to video verification. It just allowed me to verify via phone, either phone call or text. It didn't accept my text. It didn't like my text number, but it did come through via phone call. I was able to verify it, and it's still pending. So I don't know if it's going to go through or not, but I just thought that was odd. This is the first time I've had a phone verification like that in quite some time. So anyway, try not to edit. If it's a real valid business listing, guys, don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do, right? Because you can re-verify it if needed. But if it's a spam listing, try to get everything done up front to where you do minimal touching of the Google business profile after it's been verified. Okay. Josh says, Bradley, how are you doing? So we purchased Jack Bosch's land profit generator course, and we're in the process of finding our first few county or state to target. We heard Jack Bosch said in the course that some states have regulations or restrictions on double closing, among other things when it comes to land flipping. From your experience, is there any particular state or county you recommend that we avoid when first starting out? For example, do certain states not allow double closings or land flipping? And thus we'd have to actually buy the land with our own cash. Thank you. Double closings. So real quick, guys, I'm just going to run through this because I know that we're way over number one. Number two, this is not really SEO related, but Josh, because I do talk about this here, I'm happy to answer the question. Don't do double closings, because double closings opens up a whole lot of additional tax implications, et cetera, that you can completely avoid by doing an assignment of contract. A double closing, you get hit with capital gains tax, all kinds of stuff, guys. Like, there are so many more so many reasons why not to do double closings. Just do an assignment of contract. All you're doing is selling your contract, right? Get a property under contract, lock it up, go record an affidavit and memorandum concerning real estate. It's called clouding the title. Don't have the time to get into the details of that, but you want to record an affidavit against the title when you have a signed contract from the seller. That way it prevents the seller from being able to sell the property to anybody else, because you have equitable interest in the title of that property. You have to go record that with the courthouse, but that is your insurance policy. Ask me how I know, because I've had over the years, because I've done real estate flipping in houses and land, and people will accept your offer and then sell it to somebody else while you have a pending offer. Well, you can stop them dead in their tracks when you record an affidavit against the title. So it's basically like a lien or a cloud on the title saying that you have equitable interest. You have anyway, long story short, cloud the title. You have to do a release of affidavit if you do not close on the title, if you do not close on the property. But the point is, you get it under contract, lock it up, record an affidavit, which protects you. And then you market the contract. Yes, you're marketing the property, but you're selling the contract. You're not selling the property. You're not owner. You're selling the contract for an assignment fee, right? And then you never take ownership of the property. With a double closing, you still take ownership. It's momentary ownership, but now you've become the real property owner, and that's a taxable event. When you do an assignment of contract, you're just getting taxed at normal income fees or whatever, normal income taxable rate. That makes sense. So anyway, just do an assignment of contract. There are probably some states that have issues with that. You're going to have to contact a local attorney. Whatever states that you plan on flipping land in, just contact an attorney, set up a consultation, pay $150 for a 30-minute consultation. It's worth it. Find out what the laws are in the state that you plan on working in so that you can navigate those properly. You don't get yourself into trouble. It's simple. It's worth the money to contact the local attorney, find out, is assignment of contract, acceptable in this state? Is there any legal implications that I need to be aware of? Talk to a CPA. Are there any tax implications that you need to be aware of? Guys, build your team of advisors, professional advisors, so that you can focus on what makes you the money, which is finding properties and making ridiculously low offers. That's how you make your money, right? Let the professionals tell you how to navigate the state, that process in the states that you work in. Okay. Do assignment of contracts, guys. It is so much easier. So much easier. And you don't have any of the headaches to deal with closings or anything else. It is so much easier. Trust me. You're just a marketer. By the way, if you don't take ownership of the property, you're not a real estate investor. You're a marketer. You're in the real estate marketing business. You're not a real estate investor unless you buy and hold or do you take ownership. So just think about that. You're in the marketing business, the real estate marketing business. Okay. Rob says in organic search results, I'm way over. Fuck. In organic search results, sometimes Google displays website.com for the very first line above the URL. And other times the name of the business, it doesn't seem to matter. Yeah, that's a relatively new development. Doesn't seem to matter if it's a homepage or a subfolder, service page, results being shown. Yes, they show the domain now. That's the brand. That's also why if you are appending the brand name to the top of your SEO titles, you'll notice a lot of times Google drops that now because it's showing the brand name as the domain instead. So even if your SEO title has product or service keyword, location modifier, brand name, you'll see that Google will only display product or service keyword and location modifier. They won't display the brand because that is the domain now. They're showing the brand as the domain. If that makes sense. See that a lot now. That's relatively new. I think the biz name looks cleaner and it utilizes upper and lowercase as well, as opposed to just website.com. Yeah, but we don't have any control over that. Google is doing that. We can't control that. So yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. How limited should you keep the use of your keyword hypertext links to home or service pages? And to what varying degrees of limitation based on the source, i.e. Google sites, first and tier, second sites, third blog posts. What does related keyword or topic instead of exact match allow more liberal use? Yeah, don't, guys, again, this is smshort.link /LLB for local link building. If you go to smshort.link, I'll grab the URL. It's shortened URL. So if it unfurls, it won't be short. This is just an example for money site, guys. Tier 0 assets stick mostly, almost exclusively with brand anchors. Then you can use target. I do a mix. This isn't really fully representative, because people look at this and think, okay, so at tier 2, we always use target. No, this is just loose guidelines that my team and I follow. So at tier 1, go with brand anchors. For Google Business Website and Map, you can do embeds as well. I don't do URL anchors. Very rarely do I do URL anchors. I do brand names. I think anchor text should be descriptive of what it is linking to. URL anchors aren't descriptive of what they're linking to. So that's why we don't build miscellaneous or generic anchors either. We don't build those. We build anchor text anchors. At tier 1, mostly brand. Okay. Then at tier 2, we do a mix of target and topic anchors. So keyword anchors. Okay. I don't do a lot of keyword linking, anchor text linking direct to the money site. And that's just because, again, it's unnecessary. You can push your keyword relevance at tier 2 and 3. So target anchors are keyword plus location modifiers. That would also include near me and variants of near me, nearby, around me, close to me, etc. Then topic anchors are keyword only. So keywords without location modifiers. That makes sense. Do a mix of these at tier 2 and 3. But at tier 1, you want to stick mostly with brand anchors. Average out the anchor text ratios of the top 5 ranked competitors for the specific search query you want to rank for. Look at what they're doing. Model that, right? And you'll see that for local projects, I don't know if you said affiliate, but for local projects, you'll see that the vast majority of the top ranked competitors in organic search are going to have the highest percentage of their anchor text ratios in the brand/URL category. That's why we stick with that the most. Okay. Okay, hopefully that's clear. And I said I was going to drop this in there. Guys, I got to go. I'm so late. Last one. Hey, Bradley, to clarify, on module 12 of the land profit generator training modules, closing on the property and assignment, Jack Bosch says that Texas and Ohio have regulations which basically state that you cannot market a piece of land without owning it first. In this case, what would be your workarounds if we do flip lands in Texas and Ohio without owning them ourselves? Well, again, contact a local attorney in either Texas or Ohio and ask them, okay, if you can't market a property, can you market the contract? I don't know, because I've not done any land flipping in Texas or Ohio, but contact an attorney in Texas or Ohio and ask them. I understand I can't market a property, but can I market a contract? If I'm the contract owner of a property, can I market the contract for sale? Find out. Seriously, that's all it takes. Contact a local attorney in one of those states and ask them that. You're going to probably contact a real estate attorney, so not a criminal or family attorney or none of that. A personal injury attorney, none of that. Contact a real estate attorney, which means contact settlement office, closing attorneys, etc., and ask that question. Okay, so a settlement company, a title company, you could call a title company and ask them that. There's a number of ways that you could find out who to ask that from. But find out, can you market a contract? If you can't market the property, can you sell the contract? And then you're still providing the property details in your marketing, but you disclaim in your advertisement, right, that I am, and I did that anyways. I am contract owner of this property. I'm marketing this contract for sale. And I did that anyways in Virginia. It wasn't required, but I did that anyways. Full transparency, full disclosure, right? So anyway. All right, guys, way over. Sorry about that.